Good afternoon, listeners. Time check is 12:24 p.m. and you are on to the Careerxhub on Unica Radio International 103.5 FM, a radio station that offers you education beyond barriers. And it's about time to buckle up because it is time to level up your career game. I am your host for the show, U to the K to the E to the T, Phuket Friday, and this is Career X. Here we are empowering students for career success. So whether you are a student, a fresh graduate, or just looking up to level up your career to sharpen your skills, we've got you covered with expert advice, success strategies, and real life career advice. Hang in there because when we return, we will be going into our sessions for today. Of course, remember that your career journey begins now. You're just joining us, you are on to the Kara Edge Show on Unica 103.5 FM, the radio station that offers you education beyond barriers. And this, like I mentioned earlier, is the Kara Edge Show. I'm your host for the show, Phuket Friday, and I'll be doing this today with my co-host, Mr. Ben David Samuel of the Career X Hall. Mr. Ben David, it's good to have you here. All right. So, yeah, Mr. Ben David is in the studio with me. But then, before we engage Mr. Ben David, we'll be going to our session for today. And today, we will be talking about, of course, last week, we had a great session on job market trends, and we looked at what job market trends are. We also looked at how to be able to adapt to the job market trends, how to research the job market trends, and of course, align with the trending jobs in the job market space. Today, we would be having a continuation of that session, and we will be looking at certain topics. We'll be looking at certain topics, right, that will help us to navigate the job market and put ourselves on the right path of our career journey, right? So, today we'll be looking at in-demand skills in today's market. If you are just joining us, if you are joining us online, of course, you would, I believe by now, you would be able to see our screen and of course, go through with us as we display the presentation slides. But then if you are joining us via radio, thank you for joining us. You can call our hotlines if you have any question, and the hotline is 080-9444-4058. Again, the hotline is 080-9444-058. So let's dive into our presentation for today. All right, so we are looking at job market trends, understanding skills, opportunities, and trends in the job marketplace. And like I said, today is a continuation of what we did last week. And we want to quickly look at in-demand skills in today's market skills. What are those skills that will make you stand out as an applicant if you were searching for jobs in the marketplace? Right? So the first skills, I will be mentioning these skills in different categories, right? To help you understand where these skills fall, right? And last time we spoke about soft skills, we spoke about also some of the technical skills, right? So the first group of skills that I will be mentioning is the soft skills. So under the soft skills, we have skills such as communication. We have skills such as communication, emotional intelligence, adaptability, teamwork, critical thinking, conflict handling, or if you like, conflict management, and leadership. Soft skills are, of course, very numerous, and this is just to mention a few. Again, I mentioned under the soft skill category, I mentioned communication, and you would agree with me that in every workspace, and even in the study environment, in school, in the classroom, communication is one skill that cannot be overemphasized, right? Effective communication in a way. Every applicant needs to learn how to communicate effectively. And under communication, we have soft skills such as active listening and, of course, speaking as well, right? You need to be able to listen actively to whoever is communicating with you, to whoever is talking to you, to whoever you are speaking with. And you also need to understand how to speak in a way that the person who is listening to you understands you clearly, that the message you are trying to pass is well communicated. That is when communication is said to have taken place, right? Then also emotional intelligence under the soft skill category. Emotional intelligence deals with how well you are able to manage the emotions of the people around your environment. So we all agree that the workplace is a space where people with different feelings, different emotions, different problems come together to achieve a certain goal, right? So emotional intelligence puts you in a place where you are able to manage the anger that your colleague brought from their homes, the spikes that arises from the conflict within the workspace, all of the problems that's going to happen, that you are able to manage all of those emotions to ensure that at the end of the day, you all achieve the set goal, right? And there is no conflict in the workspace. There is also under the soft skills category, adaptability. Adaptability simply implies your ability as an applicant to adapt to new environments, to adapt to changes in the workspace. Now, not every applicant possesses that ability to adapt to new change. There are certain people that the moment something happens without their notice, the moment you bring up a change without informing them, without them preparing ahead of time for that change, to embrace that change, they switch. They cannot operate in such environment. So having that ability to adapt to change, to adapt to new environments, to adapt to new development puts you, of course, on in a good place, right? And increases your chance of getting the role. So another skill under the soft skills category would be critical thinking. Critical thinking simply implies your ability to think outside the box. And in recent times, we have been trying to encourage young people to think like there is no box. I mean, why put yourself in a box, right? So if you are able to demonstrate that when problem arises, you have that ability to, think out of the box, think like there is no box, and come up with solutions that is out of the normal, that is out of the ordinary, then you stand a higher chance of getting the role whenever you apply for a job. There's also teamwork, of course. you must possess the ability to be able to collaborate and work with people, colleagues from different backgrounds, different areas of specialty, you know, and different skills and all of that. That is what teamwork implies. Then there is conflict management, or if you like, conflict handling. So conflict management simply implies your ability as an applicant to manage conflict in the workplace. Like I earlier mentioned, the workplace is an environment where people from different backgrounds, people with different problems, people real with different challenges, you know, come together to achieve the certain goal or vision, you know, of that organization, whatever organization it is, which implies that our services are different, you know, so are our problems, right? So Mr. A will come with his problem, Mr. B will come with his challenge, and this sometimes goes a long way to cause, you know, to result about conflict in the workplace. So if you have that special ability to handle conflict, to manage conflict, and not allow it to, you know, affect the productivity in the workplace, then you have an added advantage, right? And then the last skill I would like to mention under the soft skill category is leadership. Leadership is very important. People say that some persons are born leaders, some persons are, you know, trained to be leaders. Whatever the case is, if you must, you know, get the job done, you know, whether behind, you know, the background or whether in the forefront, you need to possess leadership skills, right? Whether you lead from the front or you lead from the back, you need to possess leadership skills. You must be able to take initiative, you know, in the workplace. So if you possess a skill, that will also give you an added advantage. So let us move on to emerging industries and opportunities. Now, number one category under the emerging industries and opportunities in the job markets is the technology sector. And under the technology sector, the last time we spoke about the advent of AI, how AI is taking over so many jobs. And just recently, I was telling a friend that some AI softwares are beginning to even take the jobs of other AI applications. I mean, look at what ChatGPT is doing these days. Before now, there were certain AIs, you know, that are designed to generate images. There are certain AI platforms that were designed just to generate PowerPoint presentations and all of that. But now, the latest models of ChatGPT and other AIs are beginning to do a whole lot just in one AI. Now, this is to show you that artificial intelligence, you know, cannot be undermined. You know, it keeps growing and growing and growing. So it is best for you to learn how to manipulate AI for productivity and, of course, for you know, your efficiency in the workplace. Another emerging industry under the technology sector is data science. So if you have been, you know, like checking the internet about data science and all of that, you discover that there are so many job roles under the data science. You know, some persons are data analysts, some persons are data scientists, you know, so many roles under the data science sector, right? And it is one sector that is really one role under the technology sector that is really selling these days. And if you check the income rate for data scientists, your mind will be blown away, right? And then another example under the technology sector is cloud computing, right? So for those of us who are in the tech space, we would agree that cloud computing is another role or another, you know, experience under the technology sector that cannot be undermined. So there are people learning machine, there are people who are studying and, of course, you know, going a long way to become experts in machine learning, in web development, in cyber security, different skills, right? Even outside of cloud computing. So if you are looking forward to diving into technology, into tech, into becoming a tech bro, a tech sis, if there's any word like that, these skills that I've listed would be a good option for you to delve into, right? So another sector under emerging industries would be the healthcare sector. So if you remember very well, during our last program, I mentioned that setting some professions have really moved from the normal and advanced due to technology, due to the developments in technology and all of that. So today, in today's world, in the healthcare sector, we don't just have people who are nurses and doctors, right? Or just lab scientists. We have people who are into telemedicine, the application of technologies into medicine and all of that. The use of new technologies into the administration of medicine. We even have people who build apps to offer health services, right? So telemedicine would be a good option if you are in the medical area. Of course, there is also people who specialize in medical research, right? Then let's look at all right, before we go into adapting market trends, there are also professional skills, right? There are also professional skills, and under the professional skills, we have skills that include collaboration. We have skills like product design. We have skills like marketing. We have skills like project management. Project management, especially for those who are in the development space. You run NGOs or you want to work with NGOs, you must learn and master the art of project management. And of course, collaboration is also a very important skill, helping initiatives, companies, different bodies to develop means of collaborating with other firms and organizations. Is also one skill that can give you an added advantage. Then there are also technical skills. I've mentioned soft skills and I've also mentioned professional skills. Now, looking at the technical skills, these skills are skills that are very hands-on, right? And those skills will include skills like data analysis, skills like cyber security. I've mentioned that under the tech skills. Then there is programming, and there is also agriculture. Again, on our recent show, I made mention about hydroponics, soilless farming, new practices of farming, agricultural farming that employs the use of technology, in agriculture, right? Okay, so still on that emerging industries and opportunities, I have made mention about the healthcare, where we have telemedicine and medical research. There is also an emerging industry that attracts so much global recognition and funding recently, and that industry is renewable energy. So you see that there are a lot of companies that specialize in solar energy and wind energy solutions. So if you this is something that catches your interest, you might want to venture into that. And lastly, on the emerging industries would be the creative industries, right? Under the creative industries, now you would, especially with, of course, the recent monetization of Nigerians by Facebook, the Meta and other social media platforms, creative industries cannot be on the mind, right? And this, especially because this is something that you can do at the comfort of your home, and even during your leisure time, and even during your spare time in the workspace. So under the creative industries, we have digital marketing, and then we have content creation, right? So let us move on to adapting to market trends. How can we adapt to market trends? I hope that you were paying attention and taking notes of everything we are sharing right now. Like I earlier mentioned, if you are joining us via Zoom or our YouTube channel, feel free to leave your questions or your comments or reactions on the chat box, and our team is available, to react to it and respond to your questions. If you're listening to us on radio, feel free to join the conversation. You can call our hotline on 080-9444-058. Again, 0809-444-058. And now, let us go back to looking at how to adapt to market trends. So number one would be continuous learning and upskilling. What does continuous learning and upskilling entail? It entails embracing lifelong learning. Now, there's a saying that learning never ends. So if you must adapt to market trends, to the job market trends, you need to, embrace continuous learning. Like I said earlier, as much as technology is advancing, some companies and organizations, adapt to new technology trends. They adapt to the changes in the society, adapt to the impact of the economy on their company and their firms. And as such, they tend to, change and, adjust their needs for who to hire and who to fire, as the case may be, right? So you must embrace lifelong learning. Then you also have to learn new tools and methodologies, right? You cannot use the skill set for, skill set that applies to a particular area. Let's say, for instance, the skill set that applies to becoming a doctor or a nurse 10 years ago, 20 years ago, have changed over time, of course, due to all of the factors that I've listed earlier. So you need to learn the new tools, you need to learn new methodologies, that applies to your area, whatever career paths that you are choosing or you want to intend to. And then it also applies to those of us who are on these roles already, who are in the job place already. For you to remain relevant in your workplace, you need to learn new tools. You need to also upskill. You need to, upgrade yourself and learn new methodologies in your workplace. Number two on how to adapt to market trends, the job market trends, would be leveraging online platforms. Now, earlier on, I've mentioned, continuous learning and upskilling. One of the ways you can, upskill and learn more about yourself, about your job, description, about your role, is through online platforms. Online platforms like Coursera, like LinkedIn Learning. For those of us who are on LinkedIn, there is, LinkedIn Learning. There are also some other platforms that offer free learning. I also know about Yoma, a platform for opportunities and learning opportunities that is being designed by UNICEF for youth across the world. You can also access courses, materials, and networking trends updates, right? From, of course, your peers, and also social media handles and the internet in general, right? So let us also, the third option on how to adapt to job market trends would be networking and building professional connections, right? How do we achieve this? Number one, you have to join student groups and also professional groups. You agree with me that some of these career paths that we have chosen, they have professional bodies, they have professional groups. Even for those of us who are students, our student bodies have associations. There are national associations of medical students. There are national associations of political science students. There are so many bodies, right? There are even professional bodies, like I think there are bodies professional bodies of engineers, there are professional bodies of medical doctors, of medical practitioners, even those who are in the development space, the NGO space. There are also professional bodies for those persons. There are coalitions of youth-led NGOs. There are coalitions of health practitioners. So belonging to all of these bodies would help you to adapt to the job market trends, to understand, what is trending in the job market. You can also attend events and conferences, attend webinars. These days there are so many webinars that are designed, to help us upscale, and adapt to the new job trends, in tech, in science, in art, social science, whatever is your career path. And also, there are also events that are organized even in the school environment. Don't say you don't have the time to attend events. Attend events, learn new things, and give yourself a higher chance, of getting that job, right? Then, number 4 on how to adapt to market trends would be embracing freelancing and remote work, right? For those of us who are students and looking forward to, making extra income, you have to it's very important for you to embrace freelancing and remote work, right? Because this will help you to gain, experience while you're still a student. It will also help you to expand your network. You can connect with people who are also doing the same thing. I know that they are like a network of persons who are into tech, who are into freelancing, right? On different roles, whether you want to be a copywriter, a ghost writer, or a project manager, you can, embrace freelancing, to be able to put yourself and increase your chances of getting the role, right? Then you can also, by embracing freelancing, you can also earn while you are studying as a student, right? Now, let us look at the practical step tips, that can help you as a student to, embrace and of course, put yourself on the right path in the job market, right? Number 1 tip for you as a student would be to research industry growth areas. I've mentioned this earlier on that we need to do a research. You cannot jump to apply to any company without doing a research on that company. It is necessary for you to do your research, understand how this company works, understand how fast this company is growing, right? Number 2 practical tip would be to develop transferable skills. Develop skills that, you can also teach others. I mean, if you develop a skill that you can also teach others, this will put you in a place of, it will increase your chances of, making money from such skill, because if you learn a skill that you cannot teach others, then it therefore means that you just want to make yourself irreplaceable. And I don't think that is possible, right? And then if you learn a skill that you can transfer to other persons, I mean, you can teach others and even earn from it. You can also as well put yourself in a place where, a place of relevance, right? Your company or your firm, whatever the case may be, wants you to, also help your colleagues to learn the skills that you have experience in. Also, another tip would be to gain real-world experience through internships. Internships, volunteering, learn how to volunteer. Write to organizations, write to those companies that you would like to volunteer with to see how you can intern with them, even if it is at no cost for a start. I mean, you can volunteer with them, so that you can gain real world experience, so that by the time you're rounding up with your program or you are ready to take up that role, you would stand a better chance of getting that role. And then you just have to stay updated with career trends. So before we round off, let me quickly share some resources, for market insights, right? So you can use resources. I know some of us might be asking, how do I research? How do I learn about these job market trends? So you can check LinkedIn job trends analysis, right? For those of you who are on LinkedIn, in fact, for any career person, whether you want to go into career or you are there already, you need to utilize LinkedIn job trends analysis, right? There you would be able to find out what job is trending and which is not trending at the moment, the skill sets and all of that. Then the second resource would be Glassdoor and Indeed. If you check on Glassdoor and Indeed, just check on their reports. You also see jobs that are trending at the moment and how these jobs are doing at the moment, how these jobs are paying people, right? Skilled people on the roles, right? And then you can also check out for industry-specific reports for tech, for healthcare. There are reports out there, that tells you what roles in tech, what roles in healthcare, what roles in the social development space that are really doing well and are high income groups, right? Then finally, career development webinars and seminars. I have mentioned this earlier. You should look out for career development webinars, right? Look out for career development seminars in your school, online, that you can attend to learn more. No knowledge is a waste. You can never know what time you would need this knowledge. So I believe that you have so many questions. And before we round off this, once again, you are onto the Careerxhub show on Unica Radio International, 103.5 FM. And this is the show where we are empowering students for career success, right? I would like us to look at some frequently asked questions. And then number one, I know what this question must have been going through your mind. How do I identify the best skill for me to learn? How do I identify the best skill for me to learn? So I would like to ask my co-host, sir, can you share?
This is like so I feel you should have passion for that skill. You should have passion for something first, not just that skill.
Yeah,
If you have passion for something,
yeah,
you can easily identify if I want to do this stuff.
great. So if you have been, according to Mr. Ben Davy, if you have been wondering, how do I identify the best skill for me to learn? It begins with identifying your passion. What do you enjoy doing? What can you easily do without being paid for, right?
Yes.
So work with your passion to identify the best skill for you to learn. And of course, the best career path for you to choose. So another question I have here is, okay, I've made mention about platforms, of course. So let us just look at how can I, okay, someone might be asking, can I freelance while studying? Is that possible?
Really much possible.
Okay.
Yeah. You can freelance. You can actually time management is a skill. You can learn how to manage your time. Then with that, freelance. You can have class from this time to this time. You can take your time to make success with your own. Yeah. So you can actually do it.
Oh, okay, great. So that is to say that, according to Mr. Ben Davy, it is very possible for you to freelance while you are studying. I mean, some of these freelancing jobs are job roles that you can do while at home. You can become a cybersecurity expert. You can do that at the comfort of your home, with your system, with your gadgets, and all of that. You can learn project management. This is things that you can do comfortably while you are studying. You can learn other freelancing roles, whether you as a content creator, a copywriter, a ghostwriter. There are other tech skills, right?
Yes.
That you can learn, web development and all of that. You can actually freelance and take on remote opportunities while you are still studying. Thank you once again for listening, for staying locked in there. Once again, this show is the Careerx Show and is brought to you by the Directorate of the Career and Support Services of the University of Calabar, anchored by Careerx. Once again, I'm your host for the show, U to the K to the E to the T. And until we meet next time, same station. My name is Wicked Friday. Bye for now. Thank you.
Why you come first? No, this same time, same way. You come first.
Well, the things plenty where they run for my head.